Alright, here with more Amstrad Action. Your weekly look into, well, those are long running magazines. Yeah, still got, how many issues left? 50? 51. 51 more issues to go. Uh, it's still Britain's best selling magazine for the Amstrad CPC GX4000 and Plus. Issue number 66, March 1991. It's all cut off there, but it's the £1.60 for now. Robocop 2 on the console. Look forward to that. Beat the game. Help us at hand. The definitive 6-page Amstrad Action guide, complete guide to games playing. And Fun School 3, better than ever. The latest version of Database's educational bestsellers here. So Supercars, Narco Police, North and South, Strider 2, Stun Runner, Golden Axe, and many, many more. What in a game? Robocop 2 is this the prime directive? Total Recall and Chase HQ2. Yeah. And Pang. The eyes met across the laboratory. The chemistry was instantaneous. But is Chip man enough to get into Melinda's club? Ooh. Ooh. Chip is in love, but if he wants to capture the heart of Melinda, the mental marvel, there's a tough challenge ahead. 144 levels of mind-boggling dexterity and wrist-wrenching agility stand between him and membership of the Bit-Buster Club. Oh. Once he gets into the club, he'll get into Melinda's heart, and together they can integrate technology. Sure they can. 144 exasperating levels, hordes of traps and nasties, an exhilarating test of mental agility, an exhausting exercise of dexterity, 100% addictive. Screenshots are only intended to be illustrative of the gameplay and not the screen graphics, which vary considerably between different formats in quality and appearance and are subject to the computer's specifications. So you're saying these screenshots might be fake? Correct. 1990 Epics Inc. Lineup. Fun School 3. North and South refight the American Civil War the Infogrames way. Robocop 2. Ocean's game of the film hits the console and hits it hard. Is this the best cartridge game yet? The absolutely exclusive and completely authoritative Amstrad Action Guide to Games Playing. Also, we've got Supercars, Robocop 2, North and South, Pick and Pile, Strider 2, Mystical, Golden Axe, Narco Police. Plus many, many more. I don't know about many, many more, but sure, whatever. Amscene. Plus prices slashed. Wonder why. Huge post-Christmas savings are to be had on Amstrad's new range of Plus computers and the GX4000. Dramatic price cuts have been made on all Amstrad's newest models by major electrical chains such as Dixon's and Comet. Other retailers are likely to follow this lead soon. Bargain hunters will save £20 on the price of the GX4000. It's been reduced from $99.95 to $79.95. Oh, just you wait. Even better savings are to be had on the Plus computers, with £50 being lopped off the price of these machines across the board. This means the top-of-the-range 6128 Plus with colour monitor can be used for just £375.95. The entry-level 464 Plus with mono screen, meanwhile, can be picked up for just £179.95. The rejections are seen as Amstrad's response to disappointing Christmas sales. It's thought that the machine may have been pitched at too high a price against their higher spec but monitorless 16-bit computers. The console particularly faces stiff competition from the Sega Master System and Nintendo Entertainment System. The low-end console marketplace has become very cramped thanks to the arrival of Amstrad's GX4000 and Commodore's own 64GS console. and the well-established Sega and Nintendo machines have taken the lion's share of the Christmas sales. Amstrad may take some comfort from the fact that technically inferior 64GS console has fared even worse. Amstrad's decision to add improved hardware specifications over the standard machines was clearly a good move, but may take several months for the machines to make their impact. The price cuts are not official, and all Amstrad's range retains their original something. It's cut off again. Although Amstrad did increase the profit margins, which is seen as giving them the go-ahead for price reductions without making it official. Look out for further bargains in the something. And especially from mail order suppliers. Ooh. What's new? Have you got any product news you think we should know about? Basically, if you've got a new widget or piece of software we don't know until you tell us. So, or maybe there's some scoop news story you think we ought to know about. Either way, we're right to AmScene. Oh. Stickalicious! Famous joystick manufacturer Cheetah have launched a couple of spooky new products at the January CES in Chicago. The first is a fairly conventional stick, but extremely durable and very ergonomic. Left-handed wagglers will be pleased to know that the microswitch device is equally suited to them. Cheetah's second product, however, is a little more bizarre, called Aeroskate. It's a control device which can be attached to a skateboard, straight up, allowing you to perform rad stunts and bodacious maneuvers in the privacy of your own home. The device will be used in the near future as a control device to play skateboard, driving, skiing, surfing games, etc., all in your front room. Meanwhile, Spectra Video, the equally famous joystick manufacturer, have released the Stingray joystick. This is a handheld affair resembling some kind of space gun. Microswitches again are the order of the day, and Spectra Video describes the Stingray as being the BMW of the joystick world. Prices begin at $14.95 for the standard stick and $15.95 for the Autofire version. And there's more! A new name has emerged on the joystick scene. Kraken has been founded by a group of ex-Conix dudes. Go on. And the first release is the stick called the Converter. A novel idea, the stick's suckered base can be folded into a comfortable grip, allowing it to be handheld or tabletop mounted. Best channel for Amstrad stuff on Twitch, yeah. I remember getting this magazine most of the time, but the very early issues I never got, and the later issues I never got. I stopped getting it, I think, early 1992. There just wasn't really much around at that time, as far as 8-bits went. Anyway, AA Scooped. AA's principal rival, we're not mentioning any names, has reviewed Empire's Spider-Man in its March issue. But we thought there was only a preview version ready, we complained bitterly. That's because there is, explained our sources. Ho ho ho, and the moral of this tale, read Amstrad Action, we only review finished games. And it's a review, not a review, when the game's not even finished yet. That's when. Still, we said we'd mention no names. Cartridge crisis. Well, the games! Console and Amstrad Plus owners are becoming increasingly miffed at the lack of availability of cartridge-based software for their machines. Though the in-store demonstrators showed 12 games up and running, as few as half a dozen of these are actually freely available. Robocop 2, Find and Forget 2, Batman the Movie, Operation Thunderbolt, Switchblade and Crazy Cars 2 can be picked up at most decent outlets. But retailers are pleading ignorance and even disinterest in the various other titles promised by Christmas. Hopefully the shortage will be a short-term one. Amstrad and the publishers must get their act together quickly, if the punters out there in the high street are not to become disillusioned with the whole thing. Amstrad, however, is coming in for the bulk of the criticism because the company has exclusive manufacturing rights, and that while software houses program the games in-house, cartridge manufacture and duplication is handled entirely by Amstrad itself. Many publishers are blaming Amstrad for the current delays. Current M delays. What are M delays? All formats computer fair. Bargain hunters can get their regular dose of cheap computer swag at the next All Formats computer fair. It's held this time at the new Horticultural Hall in Westminster, London, on March 23rd, and admission is a snip at £3. Bargains will include new and second-hand computers, monitors, printers, disk drives, and lots more besides. The real bargains at the show will be shop soiled or ex-demonstration models, and the consumer can expect to pick up some real gems. 3.5-inch blues. MicroStyle has come up with the ideal solution for CPC owners looking to buy a 3.5-inch disk drive. As you may or may not know, in order to use the full capacity of 800K per disk on the 3.5-inch drives, an expensive software edition is also required, and can add as much as £25 to the cost of the upgrade. However, MicroStyle is currently flogging drives with a side switch, enabling owners to use the full 800K and allowing them to be used as a standard B drive, and all for the bargain price of $79.95, with nothing else to pay except postage and packing, that is. Wave widget. Mail order supplier Wave has redesigned its something expansion adapter to be more, plus expansion adapter, that'll be what that is, to be more robust and cheaper too. The adapter converts the Plus's new style Zero socket into the edge connector found on earlier CPC machines, and allows the newer models, compatibility permitting, to use all the peripherals designed for the CPC. The expansion socket was redesigned by Amstrad when the company brought out the new range. It's more hard-wearing than the old-style connections and offers less radio interference into the bargain. European companies, where Amstrad hoped to make significant sales, are far stricter on acceptable radio interference emissions from domestic equipment. The interface costs £9.20 plus 115 cartridge. Okay. The old price was £11.50 plus P&P. Yeah, the Snyder CPCs. Original Snyder CPCs had Centronics controllers connectors as well, because of legal regulations, obviously. Anyway, alright, Amstrad Action's new look for 91. From the April edition of Amstrad Action, still on sale March 21st, the magazine will feature a cover-mounted cassette with every issue. The cassette will be boxed in a proper case and comes complete with full-colour inlay. The tape will contain complete games, playable demos, and more serious programs. At least 4 programs will be given away on each cassette. Unlike the computer magazines that come with cover-mounted software, AA intends to make all the programs transferable to disk. This is because of the high concentration of disk drive owners, much greater than on other 8-bit machines. Console owners and other cartridge users will get a special money-off order on the latest cartridge games, an offer that's guaranteed to save them more than double the cost of buying the magazine in the first place. The proportion of colour in the magazine will be rising drastically. Currently, approximately half of AA is in colour. In future, this ratio will be nearer to 2/3. One result is that all of Action Test will be in glorious colour. The increase in colour will be accompanied by a change of paper. AA's old paper was fine for mono pages, but the new paper will be much better at taking colour, leading to an even brighter looking magazine. Unavoidably, the inclusion of regular tape and the insertion of more colour will mean a price rise. This reflects the increased cost of boxing the cover tape, obtaining the software, and increasing the colour content. The old price of a cover tape mounted issue was £1.95. Well, the new price is £2.20. We regret the need to bump the price up, but the result will be a magazine which offers better value for money than ever, with free software and cartridge offers that may save you pounds per month. The decision to include a tape every issue comes from the high demand from readers. Previously, only the Christmas, January, and birthday, October issues carried a tape. But these did lead to a huge increase in demand. An overwhelming reader demand, as reflected by the AA mailbag, shows that a Regular cover tape is right at the top of the wants list. As ever, Amstrad Action is responding to the wishes of its readership. AA is always has been and always will be your magazine. How to save yourself £1.56 in a load of hassle. Shopping Express. Every week, Rod Lawton, editor of Amstrad Action, no less, writes a column for Express. Essential reading if you want to know exactly what is happening at the moment it happens. This thing still costs 49p. Is it 50p or is it 58p? Yeah, the price of that got up too. Got specialist columns for CPC, C64, MSX, PD, QL, BBC, PCW, SAM. I assume that's the same coupe. New 800k software free. Reaction. Welcome to Amstrad Action's regular 4-page letters section, the place where you get your opinions and the ed replies. We want to know your views on software, hardware, piracy, sexism, in fact, anything at all. What's more, we're sending a £25 mail order voucher to the best letter we receive each month. Yay! Is we robbed? Once I put a time up at my friend's house, I hate these, I flipped through one of his spicky mags. It was Sinclair, to be precise. I said, ho ho ho, my Amstrad mag is far superior to this whinging dribble. It may be, replied my friend, but every month I get at least 4 games with my mag. I walked home with a suspicion on my mind, but it didn't leave room for much else. When I got home, I looked at the contents page of Amstrad Action, and my suspicion was confirmed. Amstrad Action and your Sinclair are both made by Future Publishing. So I wish to know why all us Amstradiers and Amstradettes don't get 3 games every month and not just 3 times a year. 3 times a year? It's only twice a year, isn't it? PA, what is a PD library and where can I get some of one's software? PPS, what sort of software is it? Mark Finch, Wigan. A PD library is a company that stores numbers of public domain programs, i.e. programs that are entirely free and can be distributed at will. Although the programs are free, there may be a small copying charge. To find out where to get them, take a look at the Where to Go box in the Free for All section of this issue. Public domain software comes in all types: games, databases, word processors, you name it, somebody's written it. If you've ever played a spicky game, you'll know why your Sinclair gives 4 away every month. However, don't say we never listen to our readers. Who would like a cover tape every month? Hands up now. Alright, you win. Starting next month there will be a cover tape every issue. Can't believe how good to you we are. It's nothing. But if you do feel compelled to slip a few notes into an envelope, well, this is just an idea. See Amstein for the full story. You want AA cover tape every month? I don't know. Well, now, let's see. Puzzle. That's what they're probably doing in the first one, huh? Puzznik. Fully playable demo. So I know that's one of them because I've got the tape somewhere. Tin helmets on, lads. It seems us women are letting them male pigs, oh dear, here we go, get away with criticising the superior sex. Yes, us women, damn that Adrian Forbes, reaction AA64, and his male bullshit. Yes, let's just go for the highlights, shall we? So, of course, we are much better at computers than those male shits. Oh no. I myself learned BASIC fully in 3 years, do wonderful art, and use my CPC in the school band. Hairy ape males, letter ultimate bullcrap, fighting for our rights. You make me sick. Show you that I am number 1, bull with a capital B. That was for AA, by the way. Oh, a message to all you other dirty males. You know where you can stick your joystick up and spin it on with the autofire button on. Jane Marie, London. Oh, what a complete load of ranting cobblers. And there we were, criticising the male readers for reacting like a bunch of rabid lemmings. I give up, I really do. And here, folks, ends the debate. By the way, Jean-Marie, you spell it chow, not chow. Okay. Froggy rules okay. Can you ask Adam why Space Froggy is more enjoyable than his Spicky game? The Catchpole, Scunthorpe. I assume you're referring to the Christmas cover tape. I asked Adam why Space Froggy was more enjoyable than Lost Caves, and he went a very strange colour, jumped up and down rather a lot, and demanded your address before going out to buy a £5 claw hammer. We haven't seen him since. Hmm. Mutant Myopia. I purchased a disc version of Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles for my young son. The center pages of the instruction booklet list the codes, of which one had to be inputted according to the coordinates which appear on screen and which therefore allows the game to be played. My 55-year-old eyes are not what they used to be, and to find that the codes were printed on a red-brown background did nothing to enhance readability. My son's 10-year-old laser-sharp eyes were also defeated. Earlier today I phoned Microsoft, who said they would supply an updated booklet, and please find enclosed my printout and the original. You'll have to supply your own magnifier eye patch. Mr. W.J. Duxbury, London. I'm surprised that Microsoft is supplying an updated booklet. These sheets are designed to be impossible to photocopy. They represent the program's copy protection, the intention being that no one without the original packaging will be able to play the game. Anyway, Mr. Duxbury, the piece of paper you sent us was completely blank. I mean, there's nothing on it at all. Hang on, though. Credit where it's due. I'm writing to complain bitterly that while you published my totally superb day in the life contribution, issue 61, Kiwis on BMXs, you forgot to identify the author, me, and none of my friends at Amstrad Canterbury, the best little Amstrad club east of Suez. Well, believe me when I say that it was I, little knobbly knees of the Antipodes, what done it. Never mind, such is my loyalty to your noble publication, and let's face it, you need all the friends you can get, and I'm prepared to overlook this omission just this once, and even though I'm donning my best deerstalker hat, meerschaum pipe, and magnifying glass to write the definitive day in the life on the subject of a detective agency who uses CPC, I don't know what Holmes's hat it was like, but it definitely doesn't pay to get downwind of the average New Zealand deerstalker's hat, especially if he's wearing it. Jan Orchard, Christchurch, New Zealand. Sorry about that, Jan. You can show this to your friends just to prove that Day in the Life piece was written by none other than your very own Jan Orchard. P.S. As a matter of interest, Sherlock Holmes never actually wore a deerstalker in the original books. That's good to know. Give me a Lancia any day. I have one major plea to all software houses. German Graphics are in the process of making games on the Lotus Esprit Turbo and the Toyota Celica. But what about the Lancia Delta Integral 16V? The Celica is but an insignificant fly on the wall in comparison to the Lancia, I believe. Lancia has won the World Rally Championship in 1987, 88, 89 and 1990. The Delta Integral 16V is the most successful rally car in history. The car speaks for itself. I hope to be able to buy a Lancia game in this foreseeable future. Back to your fabulous magazine, I have several questions for you. Will you bring back the green screen report? I miss it. Do you know when Fire and Forget 2 will be released? Would it be possible to do another joystick roundup in the near future? Will there be a cheat mode 3? What do you expect the average price for console games to be? Last but not least, could you advise me as to how to subscribe to Amstrad Cent%, the French Amstrad magazine? Graham Hennessy, Kildare Town. Lancia Delta Integral 16V? It's a weeds car? Give me the Skoda any day. Now, on to your questions. The green screen entry was okay, but how many people play games on a green screen? Apart from that, We got tired of simply saying okay in green, green is fine. Most of the time games look how you'd expect them to look, green. Much better we decided to mention it only if there were major problems. Yeah, I remember playing games on a green screen. My first Amstrad was on a green screen, so at least a year of playing on that. Fine Forget 2 will be out on tape and disc just about now, we're told. We've already reviewed the console version in AA61. Another joystick roundup? Well, maybe when there are a few more new models out there. We do a cheap mode 3, A, when we have enough material, and B, once we've decided if the demand is there. Console game prices so far have been either £25 or £30, depending on the publisher. We reckon the average is likely to be £25. To subscribe to Amstrad Cent per Cent, you could try writing to the mag at 31 Rue Ernst Renan 92130. It's a million. Okay. Or just have a little word with your friendly local news agents and see what they can sort out. Oh no, here we go. Next, where is it? But where is Iron Lord? Don't ask. Way back in the October issue of AA, you reviewed Iron Lord, giving it a great write-up and making it a master game. I emptied my money box and got on the phone to K&M Computer straight away under the phone it was not yet released. Please send me the cost of yet further loads of phone calls and let us all know when this master game will be available. MJ Bit, Tenterden, Kent. Well, blast, and double blast. I've been on to Ubisoft to find out what's going on, and those Frenchies aren't going to do Iron Lord in English after all. When we reviewed it, we were sure that an English version was on the way, but I'm afraid it's been shelved. They pointed out what a wonderful review it got and how many people wanted copies, but Ubisoft won't relent. Sad news indeed, and we shall have to remove the game from our list of all-time greats. Sorry folks, don't blame us, blame Ubisoft. Iron Lord scored a master game in AA and it was all set for a UK relaunch, and then Ubisoft went and cancelled it. Don't worry, we have more cancelled games to come. There'll be a famous one coming soon, or in about a year's time perhaps. Uh-oh. Switchblade switched. After reading your review of Switchblade, I decided that it had to be in my software collection as soon as possible. The packaging looked fine, and there was even a fancy sticker on the cartridge. But the game wasn't Switchblade at all. The cartridge contained a copy of No Exit. Oh. How on earth did this happen? Dixon's had a whole batch of them have the wrong product on them. David Woods somewhere. Will you really get Switchblade on your Switchblade cartridge? Really? How amazing! I hope you got your cartridge back and got it changed. So there's necessarily nothing wrong with No Exit. I mean, it's probably a very good game. Oh dear. Oh, I don't think they've played No Exit yet. Console questions. I have some questions about the GX4000 console. Can you use any joystick on the GX4000 console? And will the following games be released on it? On the GX4000? UN Squadron, Toyota Celica GT, Puzznic, and Rainbow Islands. Yes, you can use any joystick, but some games may require two independent fire buttons. As far as we know, none of the games mentioned are earmarked for the console. And yeah, that'd be right. None of them are on the console. No cartridge versions, at least. Some printers can be child's play, unfortunately. Beating games, game busters, maddened by monsters, frustrated by phantoms, exacerbated by extraterrestrials. Now at last, the AA team can present the full unexpurgated Gamester's Guide to Alien Bashing. Maps, cheats, pokes, the entire arsenal of gaming ploys is exposed in a 6-page expose on the arcane art of gaming. Warning, no game is safe. So, yeah, many different types of game. One of the most fundamental differences is whether it is actually possible to complete the game. Some games have an ultimate goal. Once you have done it, the game is finished. Others can never be finished. They get more and more difficult as they go on, continuing indefinitely. The techniques for beating each individual game differ, but general guidelines can be applied to all shoot 'em ups, all adventures, etc. We've lumped game styles into categories. Some games won't fit into any category, others will be covered by more than one. The tips we've compiled are relevant for all sorts of gaming situations and can be applied to many different types of game. Oh. The shoot 'em ups. There are literally hundreds of shoot 'em ups. Each has some new twist or turn to try to make it a little bit different from everything else. Despite this, though, they all follow a very similar format. Generally, they scroll from either top to bottom or from right to left. Aliens attack in waves, each wave consisting of a particular type of baddie. The games tend to be split into levels, and you can bet your bottom credit that the end of the level will be guarded by some sort of super monster. Learn how the aliens attack. It'll be the same time each time you play. You hope. Perfect positioning is necessary in shoot 'em ups. Often you'll need to place yourself with pixel-perfect position, such as in R-Type, where the massive mothership threatens to crush your little craft. One feature shared by virtually all shoot 'em ups is the power-up. The way that these collectibles are added to your arsenal varies. You may collect them as you fight your way through space, or it may be a case of purchasing them from an in-between level shop. Find out what all of them do and what's the best for each particular situation. There's no point in collecting everything going if you're replacing a superior weapon with something less suitable for the job at hand. Plan ahead. Spot the best routes as they appear. If experience shows that one way is more dangerous than another, bear it in mind the next time you play. Shoot 'em ups tend to scroll at a steady rate. That means that you only have a limited amount of time while a certain area of the screen is visible. Use that time to your advantage and don't waste it. Prioritize your actions. Be prepared to cut your losses if it looks like you plainly don't have the time to shoot down all the bonus targets. The end of level guardian is always a tough character. He will have his weak points though. Also, a multitude of direct hits may be required to destroy him, so keep firing. Often they need to be concentrated on one spot, such as the head. A visual signal such as the body flashing light is given to indicate that a hit has been scored. Not always. Don't concentrate only on shooting him at the expense of everything else though. The baddie won't necessarily just sit there soak it all up. He may try and destroy you too. We read these instructions. One of the most obvious ways to make good progress in games, but one that few people bother with, is reading the instructions. Many games seem straightforward enough. After all, it's just left, right, and fire. But what does the strange symbol that keeps appearing in the corner mean? You'd find out a lot sooner if you only take the time to sit down and read all about it. It makes it even more important with the more complex games. They're virtually impossible to do well at when you don't know what the weapons are, what you can do with them, or where to find them. As soon as you get home with a spanking brand new copy of Megadeth or on planet Tharg, the temptation is to rip off the cellophane and get the game loaded for instant gameplay. Everyone's guilty of this, including the AA team. No, surely not. At some stage, you're simply going to have to sit down and read through the manual. Simulators cover anything that constructs real situations, so a flight simulator will take on board the characteristics of the airplane that it represents. A driving sim hopefully conveys the thrills and spills of belting around racing around a track at 100 mph. Though vehicles are the most popular subject for simulators, they're certainly not restricted to that. War games are simulations of historical battles, and even simulate things that do not exist. Laser Squad is a war game set in a future, simulating futuristic combat in a realistic sense. A true simulation will accurately mirror the real thing, but that's not always the case. Will putting down the flaps at 600 mph rip off your wings, or can you get away with it and use it as a mechanism to slow you down? Do you need to take the proper racing line around a circuit, Or can you get a faster time by hogging the inside around the bends? Just how realistic is your airplane or car? Learn its limitations, find out what it's capable of. Discretion is almost always the better a part of valor. You may be able to zoom around the circuit flat out, but you risk crashing. Better to take it easy in the dangerous bits and put your foot down in the right place, where there's little danger of becoming a cropper. Then again, you're immortal in your aircraft. That daring stunts can be performed that you'd have to be clinically insane to try in real life. Slamming your Cessna into the side of a mountain is a mild annoyance, as you have to restart the game rather than the last thing you'll ever do. You can figure out a lot about a game by living dangerously. Patience is a virtue. You cannot expect arcade action in a sim. It may take an age for your plane to reach the next port of call, just as it would do in real life. Yeah, just like real life. If you find yourself crashing again and again for no apparent reason, don't automatically assume it's the program that's at fault. It could be you doing something wrong. Search the manual for inexplicable failures. Where I got a ninja. Oh. Puzzle games. Puzzle games are so diverse they can only be very loosely lumped together as a theme. Some are like arcade games requiring lightning reactions as well as offering brain teasers to solve. Old classics Boulder Dash and Spin Dizzy are examples, but just look at how different the games are from each other. Some rely on reaction and instinct rather than logic. In Tetris and Clax, for example, there are no tricky puzzles to solve, just the ability to recognize shapes or colours and manipulate them rapidly. Still, there are a number of points to be observed that are common in many games. Try to get inside the mind of the programmer. The game is a product of someone's deranged imagination, and if you can figure out the way they think, then you'll be able to look at the puzzles with a new perspective, and hopefully it will help you solve them. Okay. Look for patterns and problems. They're sure to be repeated throughout because of the way that these games are structured. Puzzle games tend to be based on simple concepts, which create very complicated gameplay. As the game is based on a small number of fundamental building blocks, and a certain amount of repetition is inevitable. Apply a standard approach to these puzzles and you'll solve them sooner. In puzzlers which count on you reaching high scores, make sure you're familiar with the high scoring of opportunities. In Clax, for instance, a certain amount of points needed to be scored to complete some levels. You'll get through faster knowing that diagonal Claxes are worth 10 times as much as vertical ones. Only act as fast as you have to. If the action is fast and frantic, then sure, you won't have time to think. Use every spare second, though, to work out what you're doing. Try to plan ahead as far as possible. Most importantly, keep your cool. When there's a million things happening at once, it's too easy to panic. Yes. Just concentrate on the task at hand, otherwise you'll really get into trouble. You've got platform games. Rainbow Islands might be the cutest game of them all, but it's still very tough. Quick reflexes are needed to beat the rising water. Perilous platform problems abound in the Rick Dangerous games. You'll need to time these jumps perfectly. You got adventures. Hey, look, I got a screenshot of Iron Lord. Gotta have Iron Lord again. Iron Lord from French software house Ubisoft involves much strategy in your quest to become ruler. Can't have too much Iron Lord, apparently. Cheating gets so damn frustrating. You've been at it all night, frantically waggling your joystick. You've followed all the top tips, but you're still not getting anywhere. It has to be said the game has you beaten. But wait! Don't toss the blasted thing into the cupboard just yet. If all else fails, there's one option left. If at first you don't succeed, cheat! Check out Cheat Mode. Cheat Mode is Amstrad Action's regular games help section. Each month we cram 6 pages full of cheats, maps, hints, solutions, and listings to help you through the toughest and the latest games, starting on page 76. I recommend that you only cheat at games that really have you stumped. Once you've seen all there is to see in a game by cheating, there'll be no little incentive to play it fairly and squarely again. I don't know about that. All this and Multiface too. Shadow of the Beast is one tough game, but by using the multiface to save your game position just before some tricky moments, your chances are much better. Basically gives you save states. A poke in the eye. Satan cheat. There you go, there's a Satan cheat already for you. We're not even at cheat mode yet. Forum, got any technical queries? Are you stumped by your computer? AA's very own technical wizard Adam Waring will attempt to sort it out for you. Or maybe you want to pass on some tip you have discovered to the rest of us. Send us a good one, and you could be in line for a £25 mail order voucher. Mandelbrot, what? I'd like to start by asking, what the heck is a Mandelbrot? I typed in 3D Mandelbrot generator in issue 60, and all it did was draw a city picture. Please explain? Let's face it, maths is a pretty boring subject, however, it had a bit of chaos in it, produces outstanding results. Do you remember as far back as issue something, AA's third birthday? So that'd be what, issue 37? 36, 37? One of the programs was an assembler written by Desmond Daly. Now, any problem is how to use it. I load it. No, that's the wrong. Where we go? Oh, right. Yeah. The problem is how do you use it? I load it, select option 1, type 40,000, but it does it by itself. How can I type in code? Okay, I'm confused here. Oh, yeah. This is the same letter. I've purchased your mastering machine code on your Amstrad 464664618 by Clive Gifford and Scott Vincent, and would like to be able to use the free assembler to type in the programs from the book. I have a few more problems and queries that I would like to sort out. Firstly, can I use ProText on a 464 with disk drive, or do I need a RAM pack? If I buy a RAM pack, do you get CPM Plus with it? If not, does CPM Plus work with it? No. Oh, no, I don't think so. What is the firmware guide, and how much are they? I have a DDI1 firmware book, Soft 58A. Is this the same thing? Also, which PD library can you get USweep from? Daniel Robinson, Cumbria. That's a lot of questions. Mandelbrot, or the Mandelbrot set, to give it its full title, is a mathematical model that graphically demonstrates the fundamental nature of the laws of chaos. You really should watch more programs like Channel 4's Equinox. They're well into that sort of thing. That cover tape was before my time, I'm afraid, Dan. Oh, no answer to that one then. ProText will operate quite happily on a 464 with disk drive. No memory expansion is required. You won't get CPM Plus with a memory expansion, but I see no reason why CPM Plus shouldn't work with such a device. The firmware guide is a now extinct volume that details the internal workings of the machine. It contains invaluable information to the serious programmer. What you have is the equivalent of the firmware guide, but for the disk operating system. It tells you all you need to know about the disk drive, which may or may not be useful to you. Wacky can supply NewsSweep. Okay. That's all we know. Ask Alex. Hi, and welcome to the column where problems, puzzles, and posters run away screaming. That's right, if you're a beginner to all this computing business and you're absolutely stuck, then I'll do what I can to help. Mind you, I wish someone had given me advice, especially concerning winter breaks. I'm just recovering from the aftermath of my skiing holiday in Bulgaria. I went over there with a couple of friends. The skiing was good, but the food was terrible. One of them wound up with food poisoning. It really was that bad. Anyway, I'm glad to be back on these shores, and what a lot of mail was waiting when I arrived home. I read through every single letter that I've been sent, and have answered as many as I could too. That brings me to another thing. A lot of the mail I received hasn't really been anything I could help with. I'm unable to give hints on finishing games or answer those really technical questions. Those should be addressed to forum or cheat mode instead. I can help with beginners' problems only. And another thing, don't enclose essays with your letters. I'm a busy girl. I have all my college work to do, and cannot respond personally to your letters. will try to answer as many of your queries as I can in the permitted space. This month we have yet more tape troubles, a couple of printer problems, and find out just why the CPC has only one joystick port. Catch you again next time round. Yeah, why does it only have one joystick port? No, joystick jinx. Why has the Amstrad CPC only got one joystick port, is the question on Darren Gregory's mind. It is a little strange, isn't it? Many games have a two-player option, allowing both joysticks to be used, but with only one socket. How can this be? The fact is that wiring exists inside the machine for two joysticks, but is terminated with a single joystick socket. A standard joystick will work perfectly as joystick number 1, but for it to operate as joystick 2, it would need to be rewired. The reason for this is that Amstrad sold a pair of official joysticks at the time of the machine's launch. One had a socket to plug the other one into. Of course, these joysticks were complete rubbish, and everyone wanted to buy real joysticks instead. The other way to get two joysticks on your machine is to buy a joystick splitter. This plugs into the port and has two joysticks coming out of it, enabling you to play with both sticks. Hurrah! You should be able to get a hold of a joystick splitter from any good mail order supplier. Turbo Soft. Oh god, coming soon, Weltris. Oh boy. Power Basic. The big problem with Basic is that it can be so blinking slow. Could Power Basic give your programs the boost they need? AA finds out. Power Basic, $29.95 disc. Overseas orders add £2 PMP. SPM software. Yeah. Good news! Certain operations are carried out much more quickly. Easy to use, compiling basic programs is a doodle. Flexible, machine code and RSXs can be incorporated. Bad news, little improvement in speed of screen access operations. Integer only, floating point numbers are not allowed. Limited subset means that you'll have to rework many programs. No floating point? Oh no. Learning is now even more fun. This is Fun School 3. Oh, here we go. Fun School 2 was the only educational package to storm the leisure software charts. Now Fun School 3 is here. Frank O'Connor finds out whether FS3 is the definitive early learning package. Fun School 3 database software, $12.99 cassette, $16.99 disc. Volume screenshots. Help Teddy get the honey, level 1. What do you want Teddy to do? Wave, sit, dance, read, listen, sleep, skip, jump, juggle, hop. Right, no good news and bad news. Oh. On the grapevine, welcome to our games gossip section. The place where you find out what's coming up and what's going on, or going down. News, previews, charts, competitions and more. Essential reading for joystick jugglers everywhere. Don your bright yellow raincoat, strap on your two-way wrist radio. America's most famous detective will be bursting onto the screens of Plus and GX4000 owners shortly. It's all thanks to new software house Disney, set up to produce computer versions of the studio's films and characters. Dick's girl, Tess Trueheart, has been captured by evil gangland boss Big Boy Caprice. Dick's not too pleased about this, and so is on his way to give Big Boy a good kicking. And to rescue Tess, of course. Dick has to make his way through downtown Manhattan to perform the rescue. He'll have to be on his guard, though, but it's a dead cert that there will be plenty of hoodlums out there waiting to do him over. The film was out last summer and starred Warren Beatty and Madonna. AA spies thought the movie was a bit duff, apart from the bits with Madonna in it. But from the screenshots that we've seen, hopefully the game will be better. To celebrate the imminent release of the game, we have a competition especially for you. 10 lucky winners will each receive a DT t-shirt and mug. so you can drink your beverages in style. To enter, jot your answers to these 3 questions along with your name, address, and t-shirt size on the back of the postcard. Send your entries to Big Dick Compo. Amstrad Action, Future Publishing. Good. Is that what you name your competition? No cheating. Make sure entries reach us by the 31st of March or else, should we detect any evidence of multiple entries, we'll be sending Dick around to give you a darn good going over. Crime-busting top cop Dick Tracy has 1 or 2 tricks up his sleeves with his rather loud overcoat, namely his fists. However, weapons can be found to blow the baddies away with even more devastating efficiency. Rat-a-tat-tat. These are questions. Who played the part of Dick Tracy in last year's movie? Was it A. Madonna, B. Elvis Presley, C. Warren Beatty? 2. Dick has a rather neat wristwatch. What does it have that makes it so special? Is it A. Rocket launcher with thermonuclear missiles, B. Analog chronograph display, C. Two-way radio transmitter? 3. What is Dick's Macintosh? Could it be... What colour is Dick's Macintosh? Could it be A. Camouflage green and khaki, B. Inconspicuous dark grey, C. Bright yellow that you can spot a mile off? Crime never pays. Dick shoots one of those nasty bad guys with his revolver. Bang, bang, you're dead. Exterminator. You've got to hand it to those audiogenic peeps. They don't try to palm you off with any old rubbish. They're the last people you'd point the finger at. And when they do, send some publicity gimmick through the post. It's always pretty harmless. Actually, all they sent us was a disembodied hand. Luckily it wasn't real, but made of rubber and operated with a motor and 2 HP7 batteries. Still, Adam amused himself for hours by frightening the receptionists with it. There must be a reason for this, we thought. There was. It's the publicised Exterminator, a game converted from one of the strangest arcade machines ever. It puts you in the big rubber boots and overalls of a rent-a-kill man, and your job is to kill the bugs that infest a row of houses. Find those household bugs, reach out with your gentle guiding hand and squish them in a squidgy mess. Yuck. Weltress. Weltress is like Tetris with knobs on. Instead of 1 wall to contend with, you've got 4. Greetings, ski comrades. A bit of Russian there. Direct from the USSR comes a new puzzler guaranteed to warp your brains. Weltress has been written by the author of Tetris, the famous Russian game that's had people beating their computers with frustration for the last couple of years. It's a similar theme. Geometric shapes drop down a wall and need to be rotated and manipulated to create lines, which then disappear, scoring you points. The difference is that with this version, there are in fact 4 of these walls. The walls make the sides of a whale, and the shapes tumble downwards, sliding towards the centre when they reach the bottom. Sounds tricky. The light corridor. This sounds like a bit of a weird one, actually. Apparently, you're lost in an endless corridor. What's worse, light will shine no more at the end of this tunnel. Eek. However, he still has a little chance. This chance comes in the form of your translucent racket, which allows you to shoot a sphere as far as possible. However, the sphere bounces off the walls of the winding corridor and is invariably sent back to you. Oh yes, let's clear that up then. To be honest, we couldn't make head nor tail of the press release, or as you know when we get our hands on a copy. The light corridor has you whacking spheres down a tunnel with a translucent racket. Yes, quite. 3D construction kit. Is your bedroom a bit on the small side? Perhaps it could do with a bit of a redesign. How about a small extension for an Olympic swimming pool, for instance, or a helicopter pad on the roof? Domux 3D construction kit, as developed by Incentive, allows you to construct your own 3D environments, which you can then walk around and explore. Not that there'd be much to explore considering you invented the place in the first place. The kit is based on Incentive's Freescape system used in games such as Driller, Total Eclipse and Castle Master. Indeed, a game in a similar mould is included just to get you started. As well as all that fun, Domux claims that it's suitable for educational uses, 3D modelling and virtual reality amongst other things. We'll stick with the games, thank you very much. Getting kitted out with this piece of software will cost a bit more than usual. It'll be $24.99, regardless of whether it's on cassette or disc. Mind you, things could be worse. It'll set 16-bit owners back by 50 quid. Ha! Gits. Going for gold. US Gold are treating us to 3 new games, hopefully ready in March. Shadow Dancer is a ninja kickerman. In fact, it's Sega's follow-up to Shinobi, as well as Foot and Fist. The game's hero can get his pet dog to bite the baddie's ankles. Super Monaco GP puts you in the hot seat of a Formula 1 racing car, in which you have to race around the world. It's not actually around the world race, but a race around 16 tracks scattered across many different continents. Gauntlet 3 is the third forthcoming game from the US Gold stable. The heroes have to fight their way through impossible, well, nearly anyway, odds on the island of Capra. Apparently the devil has turned all the inhabitants nasty, so it could be a bit dangerous. Super Monaco Grand Prix will be out with luck by the end of March. With luck. The charts! This chart is compiled by Gallup Limited. The full price. Number 1 is Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. What a surprise. The second is the Dizzy Collection. All the Dizzy games in one compilation. Great value and great fun. Hollywood Collection. Batman, Ghostbusters 2, Robocop and Indiana Jones. 4 great games. Okay. Midnight Resistance. Good but not great. Nice big and chunky sprites, but only 4 drab colours. Kickoff 2. Anko. Excellent footy sim with the playability of Kickoff 1 and graphics too. Iron Man, Virgin, tiny cars, ultra high speeds, and lots of bumps. They're determined to keep it shorter, just calling it Iron Man. Not to confuse it with a Marvel character at all. Golden Axe, Virgin. Competent scrolling Megadeth Blast, colourful graphics but chunky. Lotus Turbo Challenge, Gremlin, car racing sim par excellence. Is there a better one? We think not. Mini Office 2, Database, a serious suite of programs in the charts. That's darn good value, mind. Strider 2, US Gold, more colours than the original, but is that everything? Gremlins 2, Elite. We haven't seen this game yet, but the film was great, if you like smolts. Wheels of Fire, Domark, not a bad wad of games, and still going strong. Mega Play 2, Christmas time is compilation time, and Easter 2 at this rate. Fun School 2, Database, it's still selling. Fun School 3 is out now, folks. Badlands, Domark. What are you lot playing at? Read the review on AA65 if you want to know more. Big Box, Bo Jolly. Another compilation, no one's running new games anymore. Nightbreed Action. Ocean. More blood and guts, we love it. Haven't reviewed it yet though. Robocop, Ocean. Good grief, people are still buying it. Mind you, it is rather good. TNT, Domark. Explosive action indeed. Good without being great. Back to the Future 2, Mirrorsoft. Down to number 20. Justice has been done. The budgets. Double Dragon, Mastertronic. Operation Wolf, Hit Squad. Quattro Adventure, Codemasters. Target Renegade, Hit Squad. Return of the Jedi, Hit Squad. Batman, Cape Crusader, Hit Squad. Top Cat and Beverly Hills. High Tech. The Games, Winter Edition. Kicks. WC Le Mans, Hit Squad. Quattro Arcade, Codemasters. What happened to all the Codemasters games? There used to be a lot more of them in there. Yeah, people just want the cheapo games, I guess. 5 fab ways for you to win. Win the 720 skateboard arcade game. Win this bike. You could win this 50cc Suzuki Junior motorbike if you win. If you call. Win a CD hi-fi and £100 of CDs. Win £200 to spend on the software of your choice. 5 Nintendo consoles to be won. Why not advertise for free in Mega Mail? Oh, is that what they want? Competition. Robocop 2, Compo Bonanza. Ocean's Robocop 2 scores a massive 94% on cartridge this issue. And to celebrate this feat, Ocean and AA are giving away a total of no fewer than 22 prizes. Oh boy. Robocop 2 is possibly the best game we've yet seen on the console. The graphics are almost 16-bit in quality, while the gameplay is tough enough to tax even the best games player. And with even 7 varied levels to complete, you're guaranteed a lot of fun. Okay. And not content with bringing us such an excellent game, Ocean is also putting up loads of prizes for our special Robocop 2 competition. With no fewer than 16 winners to be drawn from the entries, you've got a more than decent chance of coming away with a copy of Robocop 2 on cartridge, a video of the original film, and even a fabulous Panasonic CD Ghetto Blaster. The rules! No employers of Future Publishing or Ocean may take part. Only one entry per person. We can spot a dodgy entries, you know. All entries must be in by the closing date of 31st of March 1991. How to enter? Couldn't be easier. Just write the answers onto our special questions on a postcard. Send it to AA Robocomp. Okay. First prize, £200 Panasonic CD Ghetto Blaster Robocop 2 on cartridge. Second prizes, 5 of them. Robocop 1, the film on video. Robocop 2 on cartridge. And third prizes, Robocop 2 on cartridges. The questions. Name the cop who gets shot up and turned into Robo in the first film. A. Alex Murphy. B. Alec Guinness. C. Andy Stewart. 2. What does CD stand for? A. Criminally dangerous. B. Compact disc. C. Clever device. 3. What is the data storage medium used in cartridges? A. Chips. B. Fish. C. Mushy peas. We hope those aren't too tricky. Adam only got 2 of them right. And don't forget to put your name and address on the postcard. Good luck! Action test. We're on to 16 pages crammed with the latest games. Woo! There you go. You thought history was dull, then you should play Infogrames North and South, an action strategy wargaming epic that recreates the American Civil War. We liked it so much we gave it a master game on page 46. Brilliant graphics. Set Infogrames mystical apart from the rest, but does it have the gameplay? Find it on page 56. This one will take you an age, and that's just reading the manual. Narco Police looks deep, but is it? The answer's on page 62. The original scored a hit. This one is more colour and more weapons. Does that make it better? Turn to page 50 and find out. Supercars is like Super Sprint, but with a difference. It's got gameplay. Some long, hard racing starts on page 40. We waited a long time to see Robocop 2, but it was worth it. Ocean's storming console release had us bashing our joysticks with frustration, but screaming for more. Possibly the best console game yet gets reviewed on page 44. First, we have Supercars. Beep, beep, pop, pop, brum, brum. If roaring around a crowded racetrack at 200 mph is what tickles your fancy, then carry on reading. Supercars from Gremlin is a new race game viewed like Atari's Super Sprint from above. The difference between this and Super Sprint is that Supercars scrolls, and in any direction you care to point your banger. Fna, fna. The tracks are quite large, and the choice of 9 is presented before you begin. This is not the only choice you are given, as a fairly comprehensive options screen is there for your use, and includes a garage in which you can purchase lots of goodies with which to upgrade your hunk of junk, and boy does it need upgrading. The first couple of races, your car bumbles aimlessly around the track like somebody's granny going around to collect her pension. As you progress through the season, though, the going gets harder, the prize money piles up, and your purchasing power grows greater. Hazards encountered as you power down the tarmac include oil slicks, puddles, and last but not least, the other racers. These guys have a most devastating habit of getting in your way, just as you're tearing around a corner, invariably sandwiching you between a wall and another car. Keep an eye on your gauges too, as running out of fuel or blowing your tyres are both potentially embarrassing ways to lose the race and the season. The garage and the shop are the 2 most important strategic areas in the game. In the garage, you can choose from a good variety of power-ups, including a turbocharger to boost your acceleration, a top speed enhancement kit, power steering, essential for grief-free cornering, and strange enough, a small selection of missiles with which to murder unwary opponents. This you'll soon discover is not necessarily a wise thing to do, as the burnt out shells of your victims lie where they are hit, and smashing into them at 150 mph is not advisable. Controls are simple: push the stick left and the car rotates anti-clockwise, push right, and believe it or not, the car rotates clockwise. The far button controls acceleration, and you really won't have much need of the brakes. It's a lovely control method in practice, and coasting along at the correct line through a bend is a joy to behold. A quick push-up, and any weapon you are currently holding will shoot off. Hoo hoo. Sorry about this. And annihilate any car foolish enough to cross your path. Deciding which features to purchase first is a difficult decision, and one which can change the way the course of the game runs. Buying the wrong lump of kit, well, it can have tragic consequences just a couple of tracks later. The progressive difficulty of this game is a novel feature, in that your lap times, level of equipment, and lap position all contribute to the speed of your future opponents. Your real goal, however, is not to get your lap times down, nor is it to finish all the tracks. No, your real ambition is to be the acquisition of the world's fastest road car, the Retron Parsec Turbo. This baby can really shift at 0 to 60 in less time than it takes to do something really quick. Top speed unknown. This car is faster than a big bag of really fast things. It'll cost you, though, in several races, or have to be won before you can get your sweaty hands on this particular bit of swag. In the meantime, you'll have to content yourself with one of the lesser cars available, such as the Tarraco Neo-Roader, or the slightly superior Vogue Interceptor. Graphically, this game won't knock your socks off. It has been programmed in the 4-color mode, and as a result, it looks a bit drab. However, the graphics are clean and detailed, and the multi-directional scrolling is smooth enough to portray the action well. The scrolling itself gives the game an edge over the usual super sprint scenario, and definitely adds to the action. You're unable to see far ahead. There is always something nasty lurking around the corner, be it an oil slick, mud, or a wrecked opponent, and reactions must be swift. The in-game music is nice and boppy, and suits the game well. Gameplay, however, is what really makes this title shine. The car handles superbly, the movement is just right, and the car slides around corners in a most convincing manner. You soon learn tricks, like powering through turns in order to gain traction, or buying side armor and bumping your hapless competitors off the road. Different techniques are required for different tracks, and during the game's early, easy stages, it gives you the chance to experiment with different styles of play. Gremlin has again come up with a cracker. Supercars is just right. Inevitably, comparisons will be drawn between this and Super Sprint. But Supercars is a great game in its own right, with a great variety of options and an even larger selection of tracks. It'll be a very long time before you tire, that would be a joke in Scotland, of this one. Easily one of the best races available on the Amstrad, this one is an essential purchase for budding Nigel Mansells. Choosing your weapons in the garage. Yes, I'll have less of the funny business, thank you. First day target score by the Retron Parsec. Second opinion. Supercars initially seems limited and pointless. It doesn't appear to have the frills and spills of other racing games. However, once you start on the road to building a superior, if it becomes on the road to building a supercar, it becomes hard to tear yourself away. Yes, white and yellow is not a nice colour. Supercars verdict. Graphics 72%, nicely drawn if a little bland, but scrolling is fairly smooth. Sonics 81%, good in-game music and the odd spot effect. Grab factor 86%, easy to get into and good fun to play, instant addiction. Staying power 89%, lots of tracks, lots of cars, and lots of goodies to buy. AA rating 87%, Super Sprint for the 90s, fun, playable and long lasting. Okay, now we can get into it. going. Oh, so do these. Supercars, copyright 1990, Gremlin Graphics Software Limited. Track 1, let's go. So at the back, of course. Bonk. Out of the way. Nice that the other cars actually do react to getting hit. It's something. Five laps. It's really fun. We're lapping them already. Look at your speed. Congratulations, track 1 completed. Results to follow. Yay! Race number 1, position 1. Maximum speed was 108 apparently. Garage. £25,000. Fix everything. Yes. It's gonna be super retro. Power steering. Rear missile. Yeah, I forgot you can shoot things. I forgot about that. Anti-spin. Sounds like a good idea. Side armor. Sure. High speed kit. I'm spending all my money now. Next screen, next stage, let's go. Oh. Yeah, this is fun. One lap. We're caught up again already. Away! No, one more lap. Oh, jeez. Oh. I'm away! Track 2 completed, results to follow. Max speed 114. sales office. Hi there, I understand you want to buy a new car. Please make a selection. Tell me how much. £30,000. Take it or leave it. I think I'll leave it. Look at it. Expensive. Oh, steering. Do it for now. Alright, track 3. I keep forgetting. I got a gun. Alright, up. Oh, guess not then. Oh, guess you have to buy it or something. I don't know. Pretty sure they started with a gun. Oh, whatever. Oh god. Doing too much. Oh no, water! Oh, anything about water. Second. Still one well in front of us. So yeah. Oh, there he is. Oh god. Oh! Get him away! Get him away! Ow. Here we go, there you get the fun. Just shove your way in. Oh god. One more lap. Congratulations, track 3 completed. £20,000. Yeah, I think I'll leave that at that. Races take a while. It seems easy enough to start with. Sure gets harder. We'll leave it at that, I think. Let's move on to the next. And next game is... We wait for it. And Robocop 2. Ocean, $24.99 cartridge. The future of law enforcement is back, and boy is he upset. Not surprising, really. Problems galore confront our shiny hero, and only his wits and cunning can save him. All those in a whacking great machine gun. Following on from the first movie, Murphy, the baldy cyborg from Detroit, has found himself in a bit of a fix. Gangs of nasty, unshaven louts have taken to the streets, peddling a bizarre narcotic called nuke. A drug which reduces the user to a drooling, snarling psychopath incapable of reason or logical behaviour. Have you tried it then, Frank? Robo's task is to locate the base laboratory where the nuke is manufactured and destroy it utterly. This normally wouldn't be much of a problem for Robocop because he is basically rock hard. Nobody spills his pint and lives to tell the tale. But unfortunately he has more than a few extra problems to deal with. Not least of which is the fact that his own parent company, OCP, has come up with a model to replace him. Understandably miffed, Robo pulls out his titanium Y-fronts and heads off to the grimy Detroit underworld. What we have here is a 4-way scrolling platform come shoot 'em up, which at first glance bears an uncanny resemblance to the original Robocop. The action begins in the River Rouge sludge plant, a huge warehouse chock-a-block with devious traps, drug-crazed psychopaths, and secret, sort of secret, rooms. Considering he must weigh about half a ton, Robo is a surprisingly nippy little cyborg, almost too fast in fact, and this soon becomes apparent as you accidentally hurtle at a truly suicidal rate into some bottomless pit or under a plunging spike. However, Robo's reactions are swift, and he can leap with admittedly less than majestic grace across all but the widest chasm. In 3 of the levels out of 7, the action is loosely reminiscent of platform games like Bounty Bob or even Jet Set Willy. Seemingly insurmountable obstacles hinder your progress, conveyor belts drag you inexorably to your doom, and pixel-perfect timing is required to board floating platforms. The other 4 levels are smaller bonus stages. The Robo is armed with a pretty snazzy machine pistol, but has to be careful not to blow away any cooperative arrest subjects. Your energy decreases at a sometimes horrible speed, but a large supply of lives and well-replaced energy bonuses should ease the strain a little. Platforms, however, are your main concern, at least until the other levels are reached. Actually, these bonus levels, while lacking in depth, could be considered games in their own right. There are 2 types. One is a puzzle where your Chromium Crusader has to gain his human identity by connecting a network of chips on a circuit board. The other is an Operation Wolf-style shoot-'em-up as you calibrating your targeting system on a shooting range. Stop the crims, but don't bump off anything that looks even remotely cute. When the Robocop Carter was first plugged in, you can almost hear the sound of jaws dropping all around the office. Excellent intro screen pops up, accompanied by some of the finest sonics ever to funk their way out of an Amstrad. The presentation screens, packed with colour and beautifully drawn, immediately give the game a movie-style appearance, but only when you hit the start button does the true quality of the game hit you. The console's enhanced graphics have been used to produce beautifully coloured and detailed backgrounds, with some fairly spiffy sprites inhabiting said backgrounds. Animation of the main Robo sprite is a bit suspect, but then he is supposed to be a robot, isn't he? A choice of sound effects or music is presented to the player, and the atmospheric soundtrack is kind of a remix of the film theme, really drives the game along. The platform theme has been done to death in the past, but this particular outing has enough style and more than enough surprises to carry it off. With plenty of active background features like moving platforms, jet-powered elevators, and hydraulic crushers, to name a few, Robocop emerges from a somewhat staid format as a refreshing and enjoyable challenge. And challenge is the word. Robocop 2 is hard. Thankfully, just as your frustration reaches a critical point, progress of some sort is made, and your Amstrad is saved from the quite unnecessary savage beating you were just about to administer. Novices may at first be put off by the enormously difficult nature of the challenge before them, but perseverance reaps its own rewards. You find that the urge to see what lies at the top of a ledge, or at the end of a maze, or of tricky conveyor belts is irresistible. Reaching the end of level 1 alone is an immense task, but in order to reach the final confrontation with Robocop 2, our hero will require some kind of superhuman effort. That's probably just as well he is the superhuman then, really. The subgames are excellent in presentation, and the identity chip section is a real brain teaser. Both subgames allow you to give you a chance to have a breather, and you really do need one, if only to mop the sweat from your brow, and for that matter, from your joypad. Robocop 2 is a very impressive game. It just doesn't have the Amstrad look that we've all got used to over the years. On first appearances alone, you could be forgiven for mistaking this for a good ST title, and the music, sound effects, and depth of play would do little to change your mind. Infinitely better even than the original game, this has to rank as one of the finest Amstrad titles yet, and hopefully will set the standard for the new hardware. Expensive, but the quality of the package really sets this one apart. An essential purchase. First day target score, complete level 1. Second opinion, Robocop 2 offers large sprites and tough puzzles. The puzzles are a little too tough though, and the game rapidly becomes frustrating as you get killed time and time again by the same things. The story so far. In the first Robocop movie, our hero, Frank Murphy, gets blown into pieces by a particularly nasty drug dealer. After being declared legally dead, Murphy's brain and remaining organs are placed in a titanium and plastic exoskeleton, part of a plot by a huge OCP corporation to replace the police force of Detroit with a centrally controlled and privatized force of robotic rozzers. Murphy, however, begins to regain his memory and causes problems for his owners as he sets out to avenge his own death. The first movie was blessed with a very black sense of humour, and director Paul Verhoeven handled the film with great style and wit. The sequel, however, is nowhere near as good as the original, and Orion, criticised for making the film too violent, has promised that Robocop 3 will be classified a PG. This could well be a better film, but it will almost certainly ensure a larger audience, bearing in mind that most Robo fans are under 18. Robocop 2, though, is a vast improvement on the original title, and possibly one of the best film tie-ins to date. When the Amstrad console was first released, doubts were expressed both about its future and its technical potential. A quick look at Robocop 2 should allay any fears that present owners or potential buyers may have had. When compared to the first releases for the Nintendo or Sega, Robo should give some idea of the future potential of the new machine. Robocop 2 verdict. Graphics 92%, sharp, colourful, and easily the best seen on the Amstrad to date. That's not the highest rating you're given for graphics, though. Sonic's 94%. Move your hooves to the funky grooves. Outstanding. Grab factor 89%. Picks you up, turns you around, forget any plans you had for the day. Staying power 92%. A huge and demanding task, and one you won't tire of quickly. AA rating 94%. Wonderful graphics and sound, tough as hell but very playable. Okay. I guess we've got to play the damn thing now. Ah. Okay, cartridges that started immediately. Yeah. Robocop 2. Oh, bottom score is 1 point. Well, I'm sure we'll beat that. Maybe. Maybe. It finally looped. Okay, let's go. Oh, I don't think I can change the inputs on this yet. I haven't. Ah. Incoming message. Report. New production in progress. Location, the River Rouge Sludge Plant. Orders. Find the sludge plant. Nuke lab. Here we go. 2 buttons. Gotta get used to having 2 buttons in the game. Let's time this. Oh! Oh! That's 1 death. My reactions are getting too slow. Spike. Oh no! I think I mistimed that. Put me down lower. This is actually tighter than I thought it would be. Oh no. Okay. Ah. Can we jump that? I don't think so somehow. Oh no. Oh, we have to jump over here. Oh, good. Stop that. Oh! Robocop fell over a barrel and died. Do the whole stage again. That's too close. Right, don't stand on those things. They will kill you still if you're on top of them. Obviously. Oh no, no! Barrels. Should have waited. Oh! No, that was dumb. Last life! Never mind. Continue! It's the first stage! Come on. Game over! Oh. Well, see if we can do better than that. Down here? Yes, we can. There, that's what we want. Now we get checkpoints. Oh, don't stand there. Oh. Get back in. Oh, everything's gone, never mind. We still gotta go this way anyway. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're on the spikes, of course. Yeah, he hit his little pinky on a barrel. It's death. God, he tripped on another barrel. These things are deadly. Oh, he didn't jump again. Jump on it. I'm running out of lives again. Oh, no. Oh, he took his heel on another barrel. Really? Try again. Game's hard. Don't walk straight into the pit. It's a bad idea. Stupid buzzsaw. Oh, that. Oh, it has come back. Okay, I didn't know if it did that or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. Oh, trying to avoid the buzzsaw. Maybe I should just reset and just try again. Oh, it's a lot tighter than you expect. Oh, this is stage 1. It's like learnable, but you just gotta remember everything. Don't rush it. I can give you 10 minutes for a reason. Ah, I never timed that. Have to make one jump over it earlier than that, you know. I hate barrels right now. Oh no! Oh. Okay. Okay. Jump forward, you idiot! Jump forward! Oh jeez! Oh. Oh. Oh no, more come! I can't get down! Uh-huh. Oh, you can't jump. The last life. Can't do that, huh? Can't. Oh, stop it. Jump over those. Yes. Ah! Oh, shit. If I continue, do I get a checkpoint? No. Okay. One more attempt. I missed that jump. Got the bell still there. Oh, I forgot to jump. Times right is awkward. You just do it, just use your iframe. That's how you do it. There's where your back foot change. Nope. Can't time that properly. whatever. Screw it. Okay, do that. Okay. I don't. Oh, I don't think I'd clear this spike. I'm back here again. Alright, jump forward! Let's stop. You can't. If you hold the jump button down, you cannot change direction at all. Oh, I missed. Damn it. Oh, he just fell. That's life. Oh! I can't time that platform correctly. Weird! Anyway, that's Robocop 2. We'll move on! Our next game is North and South by Infogrames. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc. The 1860s. The United States were anything but united. Abe Lincoln had just been elected and was advocating the abolition of slavery. Many Southerners took exception to this and promptly declared themselves a confederacy. The North took exception to this, and thus a war was born. North and South is not really a serious recreation of the American Civil War. There is a strong and accurate historical element, but the whole scenario is treated lightly and entertainingly. This is for the most part due to the very impressive cartoon graphics of Lambill, who apparently is dead famous in France for his Civil War cartoon, The Blue Jackets. The strategic element of the game utilizes a map of the eastern USA with the states marked out. You must move your forces from state to state, capturing forts, robbing trains, and wiping out the enemy. Your troops can be massed into huge armies or can be spread over a wide area. What you must do is capture and then defend both the forts and the railway lines between them. For each successfully defended link, you'll get bags of gold. Collect 5 and they're traded in for a new army. Thus the forts and railheads are the key to the whole game. The battles are fought on a different scale. Whenever 2 opposing armies coincide in one state, you'll see a close-up of the battlefield. Your artillery, cavalry, and foot soldiers are all shown. The artillery is possibly the most important battlefield element. It can destroy bridges, take out foot soldiers, and panic horses. The cavalry race around with swords flashing but tend to be difficult to control. The infantry are much slower but can set up barrages of fire which scythe everyone in the vicinity. The best combination is to destroy the bridge, if there is one, then concentrate the artillery fire on the enemy cannons. Forget the cavalry, but use your infantry to move around, mopping up stragglers. If you move into a state with a fort, you also need to capture that. This is the first arcade sequence. You must run along a right to left scrolling screen, armed only with some throwing knives and in your incredibly powerful fists. The enemy run towards you, also throwing knives and punches. You must knock them out, as well as jumping over dynamite and fierce guard dogs. All this is done against a time. The other arcade sequence occurs when one of your armies intercepts a train heading back to the enemy HQ. You, controlling a bloke remarkably similar to the one single-handedly storming the fort, must leap onto a moving train and run along the roof. A horde of angry enemy men run at you, throwing knives and yet more fists in an attempt to knock you off the rapidly moving choo-choo. If you do get knocked off the roof and indeed fail to capture the fort or the other scenario, you lie in the dust and have a wonderfully animated tantrum. The train sequence is also set against a time limit. If you are ahead of the clock, you have time to spare, but when the clock overtakes you, you'll need to move very fast in order to get to the loco and force the driver to stop. The two arcade sequences are very similar, but there is enough variety to make them interesting. Also, quite a lot depends on the outcome, so you have to concentrate on them. During the strategic troop moving phase, other random elements can intervene. These include a storm cloud, which halts movement of any troops under it, Indians, which can wipe out an entire state's forces and area reinforcements. This strategic phase is an incredibly playable game in itself. Graphically, North and South is astounding. What is really impressive is the fact that it isn't just made up of nice pictures. The screens constantly change, and you need the detailed info to move your men around. The battle scenes are accurately and beautifully drawn too. The arcade sequences both function in the same way. The only criticism is that they are pretty easy once you develop the correct technique. The men move smoothly though, and the screen scrolls nicely, given the dogs lope past with a realistic gait. Sound is up to the same high standard, with a lot of different tunes. Predictably, there are Dixie melodies as well as the Yankee tunes. Spot effects occur during the battle sequences and the arcade games. These are fine too. A great deal of attention has been paid to the way the game sounds to complement the graphics perfectly. A two-player option is supported as well as the computer opponent, which has 3 skill levels. Another nice touch is the ability to start a game at one of these 3 points during the Civil War. Each scenario is different, with the Yankees holding a stronger position towards the end of the war. Using a well-known, in France, cartoonist appears to have paid dividends for Infogrames. Its game has a style which is rarely seen in a war game. But then North and South isn't just a strategy simulation, it is also an arcade game and also a battlefield tactical movement game. In short, it is a great mix of all these elements, with a touch of Gallic humour thrown in as well. James General Leach. First day target score. Win is the Union at easy level. Second opinion. North and South mixes arcade action and strategy elements. The result is an extremely playable game that will have gamesters of all kinds stuck to their CPCs for hours, especially when 2 characters join in the fun. So what was all this about then? By the mid-19th century, many American Northerners, or Yankees, were getting pretty cheesed off with the slavery trade which was then flourishing. The Southerners thought it was all fuss about nothing. Slavery was actually quite important to the functioning of the South. In 1860, Abe Lincoln was elected as president. He was pro-abolitionist and gave the South a pretty nasty poke in the eye over their slave trade. The Southerners decided that they didn't want to be a part of the American Union anymore. They declared themselves an independent confederacy. This was a rather silly thing to do, as the North had well over twice the number of people, 70% of the railway lines and 93% of the factories, including all the iron, cannon and gun manufacturing businesses. So it wasn't really very surprising that the North won. What is surprising is that it took them 4 years to do it. This was because the Southern generals were the best in the whole country, and they were also fighting in their own territory. The moral of the story is, don't have slaves and don't have wars. If you do have a war, make sure you got all the factories and railway lines on your side. North and South, verdict. Graphics, 91%, almost cartoon quality, superb graphics and animation. Sonics, 87%, as many sounds as you'll need, and some great tunes too. Grab factor, 93%, easy to pick up and play, not a traditional stuffy war game. Staying power, 90%, a lot of different games rolled into one excellent program. AA rating, 91%, forget all you've heard about strategy games, go out and buy this one. Okay. That's another one. Infogrames. Infogrames. It. Late edition Dupree. I don't know about translating this bit. Resentence. North and South. Winners don't use drugs. Okay. Later. One or two players. One. Options. One player. Define key. Joystick. Use joystick. Define keys. Select. Spacebar. Abort. Escape. You sure? Yes. North and South. Loading game. Is that sound settings? I have no idea. France like the icons, like the icon-driven menus. Bit difficulty, I guess. I don't know what these do. How do we just go? Boom, boom. I have no idea what I'm doing. Turn disk over and press return. April 1861, the southern states have opened hostilities by taking Fort Sumter. The armies are being formed. The chances of victory are the same for both sides. Everything is possible. Move them around. Money. Uh-oh. Here we go. Jump. Oh, you come up here, okay. Oh. Oh, this is a... This is the enemy. That's why I'm not controlling it. Ow. Oh. We have to take it back, aren't we? Huh. Hey, got him. Here goes a tree here, bye. There goes the bridge, I should say. Okay, we can climb up here for a change. Oh no. And we land right on the top of the... Yeah. Oh, jumping the dynamite is hard. Oh, I can't go over there, huh? I don't want to jump. I want to climb. There. Oh, I can't climb across it. Yeah. Oh, you go in. Ah, attack. April 1861. Oh, they just roll right into the cabin, huh? Oh, jeez. God, that didn't work, huh? He goes flying when he gets punched. Out. Whatever. Try again. We don't have the... I don't jump. I don't want you to jump. Damn it. Jump. Oh, never mind. Just keep running. Oh, here we go again. Charge. Easy. Well done, Captain. You have put an end to this bloody war by defeating the South in 5 months. And it's time to return home to make America a land of freedom. Okay. Turn disc over. Press return. And back to the menu. And yeah, that's North and South. Kind of easy, but whatever. Anyway, we'll move on. This was much more interesting than most war games are. Ugh. Alright, next game. Pinball Magic. By Loriciel. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc. Ever since I was a young boy, I've played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. Oh yes, in the days before those newfangled electronic games like Space Invaders, whatever that is, people had to make their own entertainment in the coffee bars and pubs around the country. Gangs of rockers and teddy boys would spend hours at the ball table, getting phenomenally high scores, smoking balefully, then going outside and fighting each other. The rest of the others taking it upon themselves to emulate this original arcade game on the CPC. But the company has added several features. The major one is that you must hit several lights, identified by letters, at different points around the table. When these are touched, they change colour. Hit them all, and you can proceed on to the next table. Sounds easy? Well, it ain't. Once the ball is launched, the only control you have over its direction is offered by the flippers, and the ability to tilt or wobble the table. Tilting is apparently what the old-time Teddy Boys used to do. It isn't cheating because it only moves the table a degree or two, which isn't enough to change the direction of the pinball once it's decided where it's going. So in fact, tilting doesn't really help a great deal. It is possible, however, with a great deal of flipper practice, to steer the ball around the table towards the lights you haven't hit yet. Possible, but very, very difficult. The best thing about Pinball Magic is its smoothness. The ball behaves as if it has real weight and responds to the flicks with astonishing accuracy. It careers around the playing area, being bounced off the pins and bells at a very satisfactory speed. There are 12 screens of this action, each with different layouts and objectives. You get 5 lives per screen, and you certainly need them. The lives remaining after you've completed a screen are added to the next screen, so it's possible, if you're doing okay, to get your lives into double figures. 9 balls left. Ugh. The graphics of Pinball Magic, as well as moving realistically, also look good. The screens are fortunately not overburdened with flashing lights and baubles, thus allowing you to follow the progress of your ball with much greater ease. There are many nice details, such as an analog style score counter. Sounds are also apt. There are bouncing noises as well as bells when you hit the high scoring portions of the screen. The sounds aren't much more than you would expect from a real pinball game. No continual tunes playing here. I've never played pinball games for about 10 years at least then. All in all, Pinball Magic is an excellent implementation of a game which isn't perhaps a natural choice for converting to home computer. It's addictive and exciting, but also maddening and frustrating. This is the only fault. It's too hard. That's a real problem. It is stupendously difficult to get further than the 4th or 5th screen. Considering there are 12 of them, this means you are effectively denied 2/3 of the game, unless your name happens to be Tommy. It's possible to learn each screen, so you are able to approach it in the best way and get through without losing too many lives. However, it is still unfeasibly difficult, and lots of rage and frustrating spring forth as you try to get past the 3rd screen for the 20th time in a row. This is about the only thing wrong with Pinball Magic, but if you are capable of beating it, then it's a game to get. James Tommy Leach. Second opinion. I wouldn't have thought it would be at all easy to progress a fast and smooth pinball sim on the Amstrad, but Lauriciel has done a fantastic job. Just as good as a real thing. No better. You don't have to keep feeding it with cash. The first talent score, get to the 3rd screen. Oh, good luck. Pinball Magic verdict. Graphics 77%. It could almost be the real thing, and there are 12 screens. Sonic 72%. Beeps, bangs, buzzers, bells, and whistles. All you need. Grab factor 86%. Start playing and you'll just keep coming back for more. Staying power 79%. You'll get better and better, but it stays very frustrating. AA rating 80%. Frustrating, annoying, addictive, but you just can't leave it alone. Okay. Go. Pinball Magic, copyright Louisiana 90 by M. Massenat, D. Arnold, T. Hugenot, J. F. Streif, C. Perrotin. 5 people made this. This side B, okay. Error disk. Try it again. At least it doesn't just crash if there's a disk error. Thank you. Go away. I don't remember what the keys were for this. Okay. Maybe Z was there. Was the left flipper. I could have just used both shift keys. That would have been possible. Ah, there it is. Points. Uh-oh. Oh, the exit's open already. That's something. If I get through there, that's all. That's the how you do it. Yeah, exit. Stage 2. Score resets. Sure, why not? Oh, this looks awful. No, not that side. Oh, God, that just bounced right back out. Come on. Oh. Ah. Really? Really? Sometimes pinball is very unfair. Expect me to get 100,000 on the damn thing? I'll try again. Go. So you have to hit those targets, and those targets reset whenever you die. Whenever you lose a ball. That seems annoying. Okay. Oh. 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 There. That's unfair. Oh. I don't want that on that side, I want the other side. Come on. Oh. So you the middle lot of on the left. Oh, one more. Yeah, that. Now we can get out. If it will let us. Oh. I want to see what level 3's like. Don't screw me out of this. Well, it has. Oh god. Try again. Oh. Okay. Seeing how this works now, but doesn't make it easier. Oh. Now that was not fair. Hooray! That took far too long. Oh. Oh. Can we have a ball that's possible to hit back, please? He says no. Just like real pinball. One more go. Oh. Yeah, that was fair. Okay, now we can exit. Okay. Can we finish this stage for once? Damn it. Ah! Come on! Oh! 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 Come on! Oh, come on! Oh, the fairness of real pinball. We'll move on. This is annoying. Absolutely annoying. We'll move on next. Next game is Pick and Pile by Ubisoft. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc. Ah, no, not there. Here, damn it, blast. There's a quick stop it. But woof, bang, too late. You run out of time. It's Pick and Pile, the new Ubisoft game that will have you tearing your hair out with frustration and your joystick casing melting as you waddle your way into the loony bin. Quite an effect for a game which simply has you moving a few coloured balls around. Well, actually, it's not just a few. At the start of each level, a whole torrent of the things descend from the top of the screen. And what you got to do is get rid of them all. If you do this by swapping about dropping balls about to form vertical columns of the same colour, which promptly disappear. Things are a little more complicated than that, though. For a start, the game features gravity. In other words, balls being balls, they cascade downwards as soon as one column disappears, totally upsetting your carefully laid plans. Secondly, all sorts of other objects drop down from the skies along with these balls. Balls will help you stack up huge columns just waiting for that final ball. Bombs can be made to blow up awkward little clumps of objects, and bonus blocks let you multiply your score as a column is completed. Against this, there are nasty little surprises, like the little devils that suddenly speed up the passage of time by a factor of 2 if they're allowed to touch the bottom. Yes, that's the third thing, the time limits. Oh, and there's one final thing. When you're near the end of the screen, you might find you've got 1 or 2 balls left over and nothing to drop them on them. Yeah, just sit there to pee and someone up there will drop down a couple of balls. If you're lucky, they will now all cancel each other out. If you're not, well, you've got a bigger headache than ever. The game's graphics are reasonable, but nothing special. The balls are necessarily small because there's so many of them, and the low-res 16-color mode has to be used since the game relies large numbers of colors. The result is that the balls are very blocky, and the other characters none too well defined. Bombs are easy enough to spot, and the little devils jabber away characteristically enough, but the frequent glances at instructions are needed to identify some of the other items. Sound consists of a jolly total tune and a tick-tock during the game itself just to remind you that time is ticking away. Yeah, thanks. Fortunately, this can be turned off. And that's about it. There are various strategic elements to the game which you will pick up as you go along. For example, you'll find a lot easier to pile up tall columns at the edge of the screen, which itself acts as a wall. But beyond that, each successive screen is just more of the same. Your time limits get shorter, the nasties get nastier, and the number of balls or objects get greater. But by the time you've played just first half dozen or so screens, you'll have seen more or less all the game has to offer. Pick and Pull is a fast arcade-style puzzler that owes a lot to Clax and even Tetris. It needs the same blend of split-second decision-making and strategic thinking under pressure, and offers an extra element in the various objects that fall down with the balls. It's just that it's slightly lacking something. Ubisoft has taken a simple formula but thrown in some extra variables. In theory, this should make the gameplay even deeper. In practice, it just makes it less simple. Second opinion. The problem with Pick and Pile is that it doesn't seem to get any more difficult. There's little difference between the levels, and consequently it gets tiresome after a few plays. First day target score, get 200,000 points without screaming. Verdict. Graphics 68%, a bit small and blocky, but they're colourful and plenty of them. Sonic 75%, a nice and jolly title tune and some good in-game effects. Grab factor 82%, confusing at first but easy enough to pick up. Staying power 70%, it just gets tougher and tougher, but will you just lose interest? AA rating 79%, a fast action puzzler that will get you hooked, but will it keep you going? Okay. Off we go. Sure, this will be the last game for sure. Easy level. Sure. So tick tack on. Assume this is the tick tock of the clock or whatever. One player, two player. Should be right. Let's go. Here we go. We're starting. Yeah. Just swap balls around. If you remember Tyson Tokodama, this is pretty much that. We need a pink one. Here we go. Oh, diamond. And another pink one, because of course, it's extra time. Can we just drop that on there? Yes, we can. Boom, 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 boom. One ready. Oh, that didn't work. I can drop it on. Here's one more. Here's another pink one. I don't really want them. Run ready. I don't know what the fire does. Huh. Huh. So far, this seemed the most difficult puzzle game ever. Oh, changing types. Oh, it's one of them gremlins, I guess. Oh no, there's the timer. that got rid of them. Time. I don't know what the rainbow thing does. Lucky. Hey, extra life. Fire. Can we set the rainbow on fire? No, we can't. That was hard. What are them time ups? Sometimes things just happen. Gremlin. kill it. Ooh. Oh, jeez. Oh no. Ah, that. I think it lies, right? Too late. Now we only get one. Does this work? No, it does not. There we go. Oh, damn it. Oh! out again. Okay. Now the game's getting hard. Too late. Oh, jeez. Get rid of these things. Too late. How many lives do I have left? 1. Alright. Got rid of one of them. Oh, okay, it does work. Okay, that's interesting. Gremlins this time. Damn it. Too late.